On November 15, 2001, Bungie Studios released a game for the Xbox home console called Halo: Combat Evolved. This game, in essence, changed the way people look at video games. Now, nerds have always been competitive with their fellow nerd friends. What happened with Halo, however, was that it was no longer about being fun. It was about being the best. And with good reason, too. Professional Halo players can make up to $10,000 playing Halo over the course of a single year. Alright, so, gamers have now been categorized into two major factions, these being the hardcore and the casual gamers. These terms are so widely used that video game companies have started to pander to these categories. Look no further than the mini-based games of Wii or the 20-plus hour marathons of PlayStation 3. You are now looking at a modern arcade. Gone are the days of quarters and tokens. You now simply buy time on a high-end computer networked to several others to challenge your friends at a multitude of games. If you are in need to find a professional gamer, look no further than your local LAN den. Consider this a gym, the gamers anxiously testing their skill to better themselves for the next tournament, and if they're lucky, corporate sponsorship. More and more we're seeing this aspect of the nerd culture being torn away from the true nerds of our generation, and into the hands of the mainstream media. There are even drinks and snacks now being marketed to us, claiming to better our gaming experience. On the other side of the coin, mainstream appeal means a higher market niche, which, in turn, means higher profits. These profits generated from an ever-demanding and increasing crowd means higher production values on future titles, which is a good thing in and of itself. But at what cost?
I'm Christopher Connell, and I'm the president/owner of Pones Gaming Center. We're an esports venue located in downtown Hamilton. A place like Pones probably wouldn't have survived 10 years ago. Gaming was in its early stages. I myself come from a pro gaming background where I was making the aspirations to become a pro gamer. I always had the dream to become as big as the players in Korea in playing StarCraft, Warcraft 3. That was my sport, that was my game. And when I discovered there just wasn't any means to go, it inspired me to open up a place such as Pones. I think it's a trend of not just the gaming culture becoming more mainstream, but at the same time, a lot of companies, large companies such as Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, Toshiba are now recognizing gaming as a potential sport. Gaming itself will keep on growing. If you look about 10 years ago, with Twin Galaxies and when they were doing gaming, and gaming itself was in its young sport, King of Kong, if any of you recognize those kind of documentaries, that was the beginning, and it was to be number one, be the top gamer. And you can see in our roots of gaming, it's come a long way, but we're still going to the top.
It seems that with nerd being the new in, thusly creating more nerds in the mainstream, one now has to travel, sometimes great distances, in order to see what a true nerd is today. The nerds of the nerds. So we've covered the video game aspect of the nerd culture. That takes care of the digital side. But what about the analog nerds? Those who prefer to see their opponents face to face, switching out intense graphics for a never-ending imagination. So another aspect of the analog nerd culture are tabletop games like these. Analog nerds like myself have put down the controller in lieu of a more social setting where we can get together, roll some dice, and enjoy the hobby. This is Warhammer, a tabletop game not unlike Risk, where competitors amass an army of their choosing, then, using certain rules and guidelines, pit them against each other in attempts to hone their skill in battle and tactics. Using inches to move and dice rolls to determine the outcome of the fight, players take turns employing their strategy while hoping their saving throws, a die amount one needs to survive a barrage of bullets, lands on the number they need to continue the game. Jamie Goddard has been playing Warhammer and other nerd pastimes for the better part of his life now, and has been on a strict regimen of gaming ever since.
well, tabletop games like Warhammer, you get to go out, meet new people, you get to build your army, make your army as you will, and gets you out of the house a lot more, meet new people. I think the nerd culture has expanded. Myself, I think I'm a nerd, major nerd, and a lot of people that you probably would never notice are nerds themselves. No, the nerd of yesterday, big glasses, slick back hair, suspenders, all the fun, goofy stuff as usual in common day nerd sophisticate. But no, I myself am a nerd. I do not look at all like that. And people beside you, your own friends, they're probably nerds themselves and you don't even know it.
So I guess in the end, there's only one last question. How has it that the digital aspect of the nerd culture has slipped through our fingers, yet the social aspect remains ours? Is it all just a matter of time before we're totally assimilated into the mainstream? Or will we have to keep staying one step ahead of the curve to keep our titles as true nerds? Which ultimately begs the question, have I become what I hate most? A cultural elitist, unwilling to share my interest with those of the general public?
Well, man, just do the nerd thing. Anything but a one, and you're safe.
Guess it all comes down to this.
It's like baseball. You play the top, can't shock them, they got to save, and they jumped out.
I remember when my best friends were Mario and his super brother. Cause I miss Mega Man. I was a fan, getting high scores in Duck Hunt. Oh yeah. Where is that old gray? Black and red. I miss when games were cartridges. Start and select Princess Peach, I will protect. I miss when games were cartridges.